Hello, and welcome to TagAlong. TagAlong is an Android mobile application that will allow drivers and riders to connect to each other in order to facilitate organized carpooling and ride sharing. Drivers can use the app to let other people know that they'll be taking a trip on a certain date to a certain location. Riders can then tell the app that they are looking to join a trip, and TagAlong will match those drivers and riders who have a common trip in mind. So now we will log into the application. From the main screen, a user can view all of the trips they've posted as a driver and all the trips they've joined as a passenger. Here we will look for a trip that we wish to drive for. So here we have summer break trip. Here users can see information about the trip, such as the start location, end location, as well as the start time and end time. Users can also see passengers in the trip and the driver, as well as click on them to see their profiles. On a user profile, in this case Paul, we can see their contact information, such as their email, and any comments that have been left about them. So now we'll leave a comment. Users can also upvote or downvote comments, as well as delete any comments they've made. So we will delete our comment now. And now users can also edit, leave, or delete trips that they've created and joined. Drivers can change the cost or the name of the trip by clicking edit. Users can also leave the trip, and this will delete the trip if the driver were to leave. So now we'll edit the trip known as Summer Break Trip and charge a new price of $50. And as you see, the ride has been updated. Upon joining a trip as a passenger, you must be accepted by the driver of the trip in order to be put into contact with them. Until you have been accepted, your request will be shown as pending. So as we go to the pending request screen, you can see that there is someone who wants to join your summer break trip. So now we have the screen, and we can accept or deny Stan. And so we've accepted Stan, and as you can see back in the trip, you can see that he is now in our trip. Now we will create a new ride as a driver. To create a trip, just fill in all the required fields. The location will be chosen through a convenient Google Maps interface, and the times, as what we are doing now, will be chosen through a date and time selector. So here we'll determine our start location. So for example, we'll start out in the cornfield just west of Champaign, known as Seymour, Illinois. And then, for another example, we will take a trip all the way out west to the middle of Wyoming in a town of Casper. And we will charge $13 for this trip, and we will call our trip Best Trip Ever. It very much is the best trip ever. Users can also display and select rides based on a number of different criteria. You can narrow down rides based on start times, end times, as well as the maximum cost and distance traveled. Additionally, users can choose to only take rides where the driver has an above average comment rating. So now we'll find rides, a very local ride from Urbana to Champaign, Illinois. Since we have specified both the starting and ending location, we are able to see the trip with the shortest cost between these two locations. In addition, we can see all the trips going between these two locations, sorted by distance, and can join any of them. As you can see here, there are multiple trips, and you can click join rides to easily join them. And now we sent a request to the driver, and the driver can accept this or decline it if he or she so wishes. Now we'll show what happens when you only specify a starting location, in this case Urbana, Illinois. So now we can see every single trip that starts from Urbana, and we can do the same to find all trips that end at a location as well. So if you just want to get out of here and go to wherever you can do that pretty easily in our app. Now we will show the visualization screen. We have 5 different options to choose from to see the statistics throughout the United States. First, we will show the number of people traveling. This shows the amount of passengers riding in a car from each state. As you can see, the vast majority of passengers are currently in Illinois. As this is an Illinois-based application, it makes sense that most passengers would be in Illinois. Next, we'll show the average cost, and this lets you see the average cost of a trip in this state. So, if you want, you can try and choose states that have less cost. So, for example, you can see Georgia, as it is the bluest, has the most expensive trips, while a state like Nebraska or Nevada have relatively cheap trips. Next, we'll show trip length. And this statistic represents the total sum of trip distance from and to locations. So, for example, you can see that in the East Idaho area, there is a large blue circle, and blue circles represent destinations, while red circles represent origins. So, as you can see, there are long-distance trips coming into Idaho from other places. And so, for example, in Virginia, you can see there are long-distance trips emanating from Virginia. And throughout the Midwest, you can see smaller trips. Next, we'll have the View All Trips screen, which will show all trips that have been taken past, present, and future in our app. Finally, we have the popular destinations, and this will show that the most popular destinations in the United States that you can travel to. Thank you for viewing our video. We are TagAlong, and we hope to see you soon.